Next up, we have West Bromwich Albion versus Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, Liverpool supporter, but I must say I've grown very fond of Spurs. I really enjoy watching them play. Like I've said many times, I'm loving that combination between Kane and Son at the front. Bale came back last weekend, scored again for Tottenham. You could see how stoked he was to get that goal, and I just think you got a guy like Bale coming on. It's always going to add a bit of strike power into your final sort of few minutes. I think they can. What they've got into a habit though of putting goals on a team very early and then being like incredibly sort of sloppy and like rushed with the ball in the final few minutes and conceding. Like I feel like every Tottenham game that I've watched and bet on, they've been leading at like 70 minutes. And then at 80 minutes, you're like, shit, this other side could actually come back and score two now because they're just giving away possession. They look like hurried with the ball and everything, and they don't look calm and collected in the final 20, which I think has been their downfall, like, conceding that 3-3 draw to, who was it? Was that West Ham that they drew?
Was it Southampton?
Or Southampton. Yeah, so, but I think, they're playing West Brom. I think they'll put them away fairly easily. I like a 3-1 to Tottenham.
Yeah, so, I don't think West Brom could score with a fistful of 200 red notes at Mavericks. I mean, it's they couldn't score on Fulham. And most people Leeds put 4 past Fulham. Fulham are hopeless. And the only team that was more hopeless was West Brom. I mean, I can't see, to me, at 1.54, this match offers decent value for an outright bet on Tottenham. Tottenham's won 4 of the last 6 games. Fulham don't score a lot of goals, so they're not a team capable of coming back from a deficit, And it's almost as if you score 1 goal against West Brom, then you're home and hosed. Your bet's safe. So I think Tottenham will score against West Brom. I like West Brom to win 3-0 in this match. Oh, sorry, I like Tottenham Hotspur to win 3-0.
Oh, go West Brom, man.
Yeah.
I know the both of you guys went for Tottenham 1.5 odds on them to win on Betway, but I'm gonna go for 3.75 and go for a draw, guys. I think this is the banana skin. If you watch Spurs against Brighton, for example, right? Brighton performed really well. Obviously Tottenham took the lead through a penalty that people are still arguing was it a foul or not. And despite Gareth Bale scoring the second one for them to win the game, it was quite a bit of a struggle for them to see out that game for the last 6 minutes, though, with time wasting, falling on the floor, trying to you were just like, wow, I thought Spurs would have gone on to score maybe 3 and then 4 again. But look, it's a points game and they try to get the most that they can. And I think West Brom is that Chelsea-esque. When Chelsea came and it was 3-3, I think this is going to be one of those again. This is the banana skin. And plus, Tottenham is playing tonight, so I think they will be exhausted. They need to get wins to get out of the group stage for Europa League. So this is the banana skin. I'm going with,
My only thing about that West Brom result against Chelsea is I think in that first half when they scored those 3, they had 4 shots and 3 of them were goals, So if you're going to sort of look to statistics, it's not like they were dominating the match,
Telling you now, I think this is the banana skin. I'm going with a draw for this one.
All right.
Okay, well, good value there if it comes off.
Hey, we're leading with the predictions. We have to keep leading.
Absolutely. The next game is actually a wonderful game in terms of intrigue for me. You've got Leicester City at home against Wolves. Leicester 4 wins on the bounce under Brendan Rodgers. Wolves 3 out of 4 wins and 1 draw. So both undefeated in the last 4 matches after coming off back-to-back losses for both teams. Leicester hammering Leeds 4-1. Wolves dominating Crystal Palace. And so you got 2 teams that finished well last year and starting to find a bit of their form this year. What say ye?
I think, look, you have to give credit to Leicester, no doubt, for the way that they perform against Leeds. Got a crucial away win within the Europa League. And they also beat Arsenal away. Pains me to say that, but you have to give them credit for having to get those results. And something's coming right for Brendan Rodgers, and he always has this knack of like starting off really well. As for Wolves, same thing too as well. They brushed Crystal Palace side easily, and I think I'm going to. You can't separate these two teams. It's going to be a great game to watch. Like Kevin said, I would love to see what the odds are like on Betway for both teams to score. But I think this one has 1-1 written all over it.
Yo, I'm feeling like there's going to be goals in this. I think it could be potentially a 2-2 or maybe like a 3-1 situation to Leicester. So I'm gonna back Leicester because I like what I've seen from them at 3-1, but I'll definitely be betting at the over 3.5 market, which I think returns around like 4.34, something like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, the both teams to score thing here market on Betway is 1.98. Wow, that's pretty decent, bro.
That's not bad at all. Look, for me, I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Wolves to win this game. I like what I see from them. I'm not convinced on Leicester. They are pretty much a one-man team. As Vardy goes, so do Leicester. And I just love Traore. I just think he's such a wonderful footballer. He's physical. He's imposing. He's everything I would want in a football player. So I just think that Wolves are heading in the right direction. Leeds dominated the possession against Leicester last weekend, and Wolves aren't going to be caught on the break as easily as Leeds were. So I'm gonna go with a Wolves 2-1 win. Oh, and here is the game of the weekend. Scunthorpe United versus Fleet. No, I'm just kidding. Manchester City versus Liverpool.
Yo, who wants to get going? Yeah.
I can go first quickly. Both teams coming to this game in good form. Both teams in all competition haven't lost in their last 5 games, which is big credit to them. But I won't lie. It's crazy how I'm going to say this. The one team doesn't have Virgil van Dijk, doesn't have Fabinho potentially, and I think they are favorites to win this game for me, purely because of what I've seen how they play. I think Manchester City concede too many chances for the opposing team from what I've seen. I know they beat Olympiacos, I think, was it 3-0 in the Champions League, but Olympiacos had their fair share of chances that if you give it to Jota or you give it to, to Salah or Mane, they can put it away. And at 3.34 odds on Betway, I'm going to say Liverpool wins this one 3-1.
Yeah, Shakes, I'm in agreement with you here, and I think there's a few reasons. I read we chatted about it on Tuesday, but a good article saying Liverpool attack their defense, basically saying that they've got Matip out, Fabinho out, Van Dijk out, so they've just concentrated on the brilliant offensive structures that they've had, and they've been putting teams away. But the defense hasn't been lacking, and Alisson, the goalkeeper's come out and said that Reece Williams is playing really well, Nat Phillips is playing well. They're both young, but they're both willing to communicate with him and learn from the back. They're not sort of going off their own accord. So Liverpool's defense also hasn't been lacking, and I mean 5-0 against Atlanta in the Champions League this past week. Diego Jota coming into form, which again, surely that's going to be inspiring sort of Firmino to want to come forward and say, I still retain my place in the front three. Either way, you've got Firmino or Diego Jota coming off the bench, in the final 20, in the final 30, to come and potentially score a goal. And then the other factor that you've got to add to it is surely Liverpool must sit with this thing of, everyone was backing Manchester City at the start of the year based on nothing when Liverpool were champions. Not based on nothing, but, when Liverpool should by rights have been favourites. So once again, you've got Manchester United, who have kind of in the Premier League just been doing enough every weekend, not really putting past inspiring scores past anyone. Whereas Liverpool, the last 3 weeks, everyone's like, oh, they're without Van Dijk, they're without Matip. But they've been securing really good wins, and I think 3.34 they've been showing some disrespect here, and I like a high-scoring 3-2 win to Liverpool. I think it's going to be back and forth with goals.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because the last time, thanks Ollie, the last time Liverpool played Man City, they got absolutely bitch-slapped here. That guard of honour for them winning the Premier League and all that stuff. They won't have that distraction this time. But Van Dijk is a huge piece of that puzzle. So I'm going to go with a 3-1, a 3-2 Man City win on this. I hate this. My brother's going to disown me for this because he's a huge Liverpool fan. But I just think that Man City at home are going to upset. Well, not upset. They're going to be favourites, and rightly so, and win this game.
Okay. So you've got Man City 3-2. I've got Liverpool 3-2, and Shakes, you got Liverpool 3-2-1.
3-2-1. How many?
2-1.
2-1 Liverpool. Well, it's going to be a cracker of a game. And then, Shakes, dear to your heart, we've got Arsenal versus Aston Villa.
It is Arsenal against Aston Villa. I think this is obviously for Arsenal, if they wanted to show they're serious, is build on from the win against Manchester United, which a game which they dominated fully well. And I think Aston Villa as well is starting to show who they really are. They're not a championship winning team. They're not a top 4 winning team, and then they're not a top 6 either. Based on the few results that I've seen, and they've been conceding a lot of goals. Funny enough, in their last 2 games I'm seeing here, they've conceded 7 goals. I mean, that's 4 to Southampton and 3 to Leeds. I think if Arsenal can just penetrate that defense as well, I think they'll be able to. And I'm gonna go with Arsenal to because Aston Villa won't make it easy. So Arsenal to just win it 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. 2-1 to Arsenal, because as much as Aston Villa have been conceding, Arsenal have also conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League this season, which I found surprising because you watch them play and they play high-risk football. They're not parking the bus. They're knocking the ball around in their own half, sort of in their own 25. But yeah, I mean they've been a really quality side, and they'll defend their goals well. I do think Aston Villa have even though, like you said, Shakes, they're showing their true colours, they still are that side that has the capacity to quick fire some goals. They did come back and score 2 in sort of 3 minutes or whatever last weekend. So I think they'll definitely get 1, but Arsenal should take this away 2-1.
Yeah, I like a straight 2-0 win for Arsenal. Strong in defence. Aston Villa leaking goals. And looked pretty toothless in the last couple of games. Seems the honeymoon period's over and their run at the title. So yeah, I like Arsenal to win 2-0. No need to overanalyze this game.